Well, Colorado won. And you know how usually I have like these cute videos and I have all these thoughts and I have my notes that I go through and different things like that? I don't have that for this video because I realized something about myself while I was watching the game. And something about me that I've said this before, but I'm just going to say this again is I'm not a very high person. I'm not very low. I always usually kind of write it out, and it makes me very logical, very practical, and all those things. And so when I was getting my notes together to make this video, I didn't want to harp on things because the truth is Colorado won the football game. Yes, they needed a Hail Mary to win the football game. And yes, to me, it didn't look like a great football game. The offensive line did not look good. I think Shador's holding on to the ball too long, but we still won the game. And so it's hard to make a video and go through things when if I'm being honest with you, I think we did more bad things than good things, but we ended up winning. And I said in the video that I made about this game, and I'll put it up here if I remember, is the key to this game is we're going to have to win, and I don't care if we win ugly, and that's exactly what happened. And so as I'm going through my list of things that I took notes on, I actually have more bad than good, and I didn't want to make a video where I'm talking about the bad and good, and where I'm talking about more bad than good when we won the game. So I'm going to make this video because it's my channel and I can do what I want to. I'm going to make a video and I'm just going to talk about some things that I'm noticing and then go from there, because that's the best thing I can come up with, because I don't want to harp on things in a win because they did win the game. I notoriously say a win is a win. So a win is a win, and I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm going to make this video a little bit differently than I usually do. So we'll catch that on the flip side of this. The game, Travis Hunter is absolutely phenomenal. There is absolutely nobody that is playing football in college that is Travis Hunter or better than Travis Hunter. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to stick to that because he's doing it on both ends, and he's fantastic, and give him all the praise he deserves, all the things. If you're talking about Heisman and you don't have Travis Hunter's name in it, you are not watching football, because Travis Hunter is phenomenal and Travis Hunter is doing his thing. Let's start off here. The game felt different. I felt like the game was slower. I felt like in the first half things were balanced. I felt like we were doing some of the things that we needed to do. And then the kickoff gets returned for a touchdown, and that was weird for me. The penalties, I'll just leave them where they are. The problem I'm actually having, and I'm going to be honest here about my own biases, because I think that will bring some context as to what my bigger issue is here. As somebody who has watched Texas for a long time and have watched Baylor play, I know that this Baylor football team is not very good. I have watched them this year. I'm seeing what they're doing, and my expectations of Baylor, although their defense was decent, I said in my video they're going to have athletes that are going to match Colorado. I am a little bit concerned how Colorado played Baylor. And I don't know if at the end of the season, Baylor's going to end up being better than we thought they were. I don't know if Baylor's just going to be one of those teams that sticks around, because that's kind of what I called them out to be. But the problem is that we were playing their backup quarterback. And so we're playing their backup quarterback. We needed a Hail Mary overtime to win. And yes, I want to be excited about the win. I should be excited about the win. And I'm glad they got the win. I am just one of those people that I've realized as the next game comes, I'm expecting to see something a little bit more different than what I'm seeing. So it's like that old thing, right? Where it's like, is Colorado better than they were last year? Yes, they're better than they were last year. Was Colorado better than they were maybe even last week? Maybe they were better than they were last week. But the things that they're doing that still concern me is Shador's holding on to the ball for too long. And I don't know if it's a him thing. I don't know why it keeps happening, but he seems to be holding on to the ball for very long. If you go back and watch that game, don't watch the Hail Mary drive. Just watch every single possession before that. You will find what I'm saying. And that's concerning as we move forward. And I know that as an athlete, you're told and your coach to take each game as it is, right? You want to be 1-0. You want to be 1-0. You want to be 1-0. What you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to struggle against teams that you shouldn't struggle against. And that's why I'm a little bit like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to say. And so I was taking notes and I'm like, oh, kickoff return for a touchdown, penalty here, this and that. And I was being ticky tacky. And then it hit me. My biggest concern here is that I don't know how much we're progressing. Are we better? Yes. Are we 1% better though? Or are we 10% better? I don't know the answer to that question, but we're winning. So it's like this weird thing where I'm dealing with my own personal stuff because I'm one of those people that I live in the process. I trust processes. The way that I think I'm successful in life and my superpower in life is living through the process and loving the process. And to me, living through the process is progression. It's little progressions here and there. And it's little things that you do that will make you better and better and better. And you just compound and you keep building and you keep getting better. I don't know if this Colorado team is getting better, and that's why I'm worried. And so before I hit record, I was like, I don't even want to talk about my notes because I'm looking at my notes and I actually have more negative things than good things, but we won the game. And so I don't want to be up here harping, but there's just a couple of things that I want us to keep in mind as we move forward and as the competition gets better. We need to make sure that we know when to play man and zone defense. I've never acted like I know anything about X's and O's, but I do know that a lot of times when we're playing man defense, somebody is not accounting for the quarterback, or we don't know how to account for the quarterback, or something is off with the way that we're running our defense, it seems. I don't know what it is. I can't give you the reason, but it just feels like something is off. The other thing that's really concerning me about this defense is they're not doing anything. I don't feel like the defense is really doing, again, if you don't stop overtime, right? It's stop overtime and go back to the game. Not overtime, but go back to the game, because I'm very aware that Travis Hunter won the game. I know how the game ended. But if you go back and look at the game, there's things that the defense is doing that is not good. And had Baylor completed the throw, I think it was like a real route, the guy was wide open. There was a couple of other things where I'm starting to just wonder, I'm like, is this the defense? And the other thing I'm trying to think about here too is maybe all the Big 12 teams are like this, and I'm being hypercritical because I've been watching Baylor and because my expectations of Baylor are so low. So it's similar to like if your expectations of a team that you're about to play are low, and then you see your team come out and almost lose to that team, I think it's normal to have concerns. And so again, it's weird for me to make this video. I'm going to be honest and say I didn't know what I was going to say, because I usually come up here with my notes and I have all these clip ups, and it's like, I'm like, these are the things that went wrong. These are things I love. These things. And for this one, it's weird for me because they won, and I know they won. I guess it was just because the game just didn't happen how I thought it was going to happen. And then when I was watching the game, Colorado should have lost this game. Colorado absolutely positively should have lost this game, but they didn't lose this game. And so I don't want to be up here harping about things. I'm just making this video to just make people aware that, like, let's take a collective deep breath and let's hope that some of these things that are happening with the defense, that we can fix those things. Let's hope that we can get stops. Let's hope that what we saw on special teams today isn't really what our special teams is, because that's what worries me. Because when I make these videos, I'm thinking about this for the future. Yes, I talk about the game, but also all these little nuggets we have to take with us throughout the season. And so if you're going to tell me that we're going to struggle on special teams and that we're going to continue to struggle anytime a quarterback scrambles, I am going to be a little concerned about that. So that's how I feel about that. And I want to make sure that Colorado is progressing. So this is me not being too high and not being overly anything and not being overly excited, but also not being extremely low and not coming in here and being overly negative about the things that I saw. This is me being me and just kind of staying in the middle and remembering that this is supposed to progress. This is a season. And I am using a measuring stick to see how comfortable I start to feel as time goes on. And that's the best I can give. And so if you're here and you didn't know what I was going to come out and say, I didn't know what I was going to come out and say either. But I do want to just say this. I am always going to do this. If we win a game, but I feel like it's like an ugly win or it's an ugly whatever, I don't know what to say. And to be fair, I do this with the Steelers all the time. The way that I feel right now is exactly how the Steelers make me feel. Is this weird thing where it's like, I want to celebrate the fact that we made the playoffs, but then I know once we make the playoffs, we're not going to win the game because we're actually not a good football team. That's how I have felt the Steelers have been the past 5, 6 years. Like, yeah, well, I know we're going to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter who we play because I know we can't win. And so for me, that same feeling I get for the Steelers is kind of how I feel with Colorado right now. So yes, I'm excited we won. I picked them to win this game. They should have beaten Baylor worse than they did, but they didn't. But they won the game. They're 3-1. They are going to Orlando next week. They're going to go play UCF, and I'll make a whole video about that at another time. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, a win is a win. I'm making this video a little different. I'm sharing more about like my actual feelings instead of making this video in regards to like how I usually do and cut it up. Because as I was looking at my notes, I don't want to go through all those negative things when they won the game. And so I'm just throwing out caution of concern. Pay attention to this defense. Let's hope that this game was just one of those fluky games. I don't love that we needed a Hail Mary to win, but we got a Hail Mary to win and we won the game. To me, the offensive line mixed with Shador holding the football. Again, here we are. We won. And that's just where I'm going to have to stay for now because I don't want to get into anything else. The Big 12 looks like a complete and utter dumpster fire. And I have called this from jump. What happens in the Big 12 is everybody beats up on each other and it gets a little crazy and it gets a little whatever. So for that reason, everything is still on target, right? Everything Colorado is hoping to do is still in front of them. So that's the first thing. The second thing that is also concerning me is how many rushing yards and how many total yards we're actually just giving up against other teams. In my opinion, we have played some teams that I wouldn't necessarily say are good. And the things that they have been able to do against us, and we're supposed to be a good team, is concerning to me. But we won the game. We're in the Big 12. We are 1-0 in the Big 12. Some of these other teams might not be 1-0 in the Big 12. So I'll just take it for that and I'll just enjoy this win and I'll leave this where it's at. Because what I'm trying to do is to be real and keep it honest on my channel. And I don't want to be up here talking about all these terrible things and doing all these things when we won the game. Because I always say a win is a win. So I'm going to say a win is a win. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to hope that next week I don't feel the way that I feel right now. Because I'm telling you, this is how I feel when my Steelers play. And I want to choke them and I want to whatever. But we win the game. And it's like that old thing where it's like, you won, yes, but there's some other things. So for me, for the Steelers, it was like we were winning, but I knew our quarterback play was absolutely terrible. But anyways, nobody's here to hear me talk about my Steelers. So I will end this video here. Let's hope next week, we come out and do some great things. And listen, if we win every week by a Hail Mary and overtime, I guess I can't do anything but celebrate the wins. There's just some things on defense I really want us to fix. And I really hope that we can get this offensive line thing figured out and that Shador stops holding onto the ball. But I would get off that soapbox and I will let it go and I will just celebrate the win and I will be happy that the Colorado Buffaloes are 3-1 and I hope my Steelers can take care of business so I can have another weekend where all of my teams won.